Hi everyone, morning. Morning to Sheila, Shirley, Nicola, Sue, Val. Hi Pat again. What long since I've seen you. Hi Heather, Kaz and Barbara. Lovely to see you all. And you can possibly see from this that it's nothing new today as such. Well, that is unless you didn't catch it on the craft show on Friday, wasn't it? On Friday. So this is the limited edition, but you'll be pleased to hear I've managed to get some more for you. So if you did miss out, now's your chance. And also for those people who did see it, it's lovely, I think, to be able to see a few more designs and bits and pieces. So the bundle comes as a bundle only, and it consists of 3 dies. We have this beautiful poinsettia frame, which is called the Majestic Frame. So that comes with these lovely little corners of poinsettias there. It also comes with 4 little holly corners, which are very delicate. And then we've got a Majestic Snowflake, which comes in 3 pieces, but actually 4 when you cut it. So you've got an outline die, a very pretty lacy snowflakey die, and then you've got the center one, but that actually does come out in 2 when you actually do it. So it's quite a nice set there. Now, as a bundle, it also comes with a pack of double-sided glitter cards, and if you're buying it from me, it also comes with an online workshop. Now, the workshop is one that's done by video link only, so it's a YouTube link, and that will be sent to you once these parcels arrive with you, which should be by Tuesday, Wednesday, I should think. So you'll get that sent as an email link. And the card we'll be making on that one is the one that's on the Facebook, Maximum Cross Facebook site, which is the one with the square scene box, of which I will also have a few more available. Anyway, let's go on with this lovely one. So I'm going to use actually all of the elements on my card today, and I'm going with you know what it's like when you get into colours? Well, I've got into colours and I've got into copper. So my card base is champagne. So it's sort of like that. It's linen card, and it's kind of like an off creamy ivory type colour. So that's my card base. Then the colours that I've chosen are the antique copper, which is from Creative Expressions foundation card. Really like the way that these ones cut, and this has got obviously a sheen to it, and that's called antique copper. I'm mixing it with one of the vintage copper sheets that we've got. The colours aren't coming out the same as they are here. They are beautiful here. Actually, though, come to think of it, you haven't got a light on, so let me see if that helps. Whoops, hold on a second. Not sure if that's going to show you very much better, but they are beautiful in real life. So that's your vintage copper satin. And then I've mixed it with this, which is from the warm tones of the glitter card. Now, this isn't the double-sided. This is just one side, okay? So this is from the warm tones. Now, the warm tones consist of 10 sheets, which are in warm tones. So you've got like a baby pink, you've got purple, I think they call it purple, can't remember now. You've got copper, which I'm using one, you've got the fuchsia, and you've got the red. So you get that as a mixture. I'm just liking the combination of this today, so that's the one that we're going with. So it's really simple. It's just cutting them out and putting them all together and showing you how easy this card can actually be. So let us start off with making some layers first. I'm going to pop them to one side just for the minute. So my card base is going to be, first of all, I'm going to use my antique copper. So I'm going to trim that to size, and I'm going to trim, I've got a 7x7 card, so I'm going to trim that to 16.5 centimetres by 16.5 centimetres, or 6.5 by 6.5, if you prefer. So that just takes that down to my first layer. Okay, then my second layer is this little beauty. So this is the antique copper. No, I'm going to go the other way. Sorry. No, change my mind. And I can. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with the glitter. Now, I call it glitter, of course, but if you are familiar with it, you will know that there is no glitter going to come off of here. Not a bit of glitter in sight, but yet it looks so glittery. So 16 by 16, should we go, or 15 and a half? 15 and a half. Let's trim that down a little bit more. So I've taken a whole centimetre off, 15 and a half by 15 and a half, which would make that about 6 1/8. Now, that's where we go wrong, isn't it? That's where I can't cope anymore with the inches and the centimetres, or with the inches. So you can see that I'm giving myself, hold on, I've lost my card blank. Okay, who pinched my card blank? What did I do with that then? Oh, underneath here, behind me. So you can see that that is all going to go on there pretty spectacularly, like that. So it's going to look quite nice, I think, like that. And then I'm going to cut myself out a 15 by 15 in this, which is the vintage copper in satin from the vintage copper section. So let's just check that that fits in there with a little bit of a border. So that's all my base. Okay, so I can pop that to one side and we can assemble that as we go. So now we've got to cut some of our dies out. So I'm going to take my different pieces here and just decide which I think is going to be the nicest. Okay, so I'm actually going to take my frame and I'm going to cut that out of my darker colour to start off with. I'm going to put some tape on. So this one's called the Majestic Frame and it will cut out with an outside. So it's not sort of one of the background ones that you need to be careful where it's cutting and everything. This will cut out the inner and the outer of that. So I'm going to just pop that through my machine. Within a second. Just pop that through. And I'm also going to cut it out again in this colour, in the copper, because I want to do a bit of paper piecing, really, a bit of inlay there. So let's have a look. So you can see that it's cutting out that inner piece there as well. And I will keep that in case we need that for anything. And then I'm just going to take this off. And we shall just see, yeah, that's all cut out nicely. And you can see that it cuts out so delicately. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to pop that onto there so that you can see properly. But you can see that it's got these beautiful, tiny, thin frames. A little bit of needs to come out here, but it is absolutely beautiful. And that's going to look fab on our card front like that. Okay, so then with some of our other pieces, I'm going to take the waist. Let's just put that together. I'm going to take the waist piece and I'm going to cut some corners out of that. So I'm going to be using my 4 little holly pieces. Now, that's again what I like about these. You get all 4 so that you haven't got to keep putting it through your machine 4 different times. It just cuts all of them out in the same go. Oh, we don't want that to be overlapping though, do we? So just a tiny little bit there. I'm just going to pop that through. Oops. Crash, bang, wallop. Okay. And just put all that through. Oh, lots of people coming back. That's nice. Lots of people have been on their little holidays and all coming back, which is nice. So let's take these little pieces out. And, oh, just I've left one of them in the on my backing. So you can see it's very, very delicate. So I'm just going to pop them to one side so that we keep them safe. Put them there. And I'm going to pop my little snowflake out as well. Just layering it up and using all the same colours. I mean, you can use just one, well, two colours, you know. Well, you could use white on white, but you could use just two colours, black on black, black and white, black, red and white, all sorts of a combination. And I mean, I'm very much into this at the moment, so you can see. So I'm just going to poke out the little bits because we don't want them. And I'm just wanting to cut this out a second time. Now, I'm using the Majestic frame, but I'm actually wanting the waist of it. I don't want to use, in this case, the actual holly part of it, or these flower parts of it. What I want is the pieces that go in between. So I'm going to pop that in my machine, and I'm going to be a bit careful when I come to take it out. Hopefully, she says. Pop that in. And then we've got our snowflake to contend with. So although it looks as if we're using a fair amount of card on here, we can get all of this card will be ready to go with all the pieces of card that we have. So I'm going to leave that in there just for a second so that I can pop it together, hopefully, on its own. But these are the pieces only that I want to push through. So just those little bands there, just those. So I'm going to trim that off if I can. Whoops. Because I want to use that in a minute. I want to use my snowflake. So let's grab that centre out of there. Again, just using all the card, every bit that we can. And I'm going to use the background only. So that's like the plain piece, the background only of my snowflake, and use that in the glitter card. Okay, so cut that one out. And then we might as well do it at the same time. I'm then going to cut out in my lighter colour, so in my vintage copper satin, I'm going to cut out my centerpiece here. Okay, so that we've got it all done like that. And I'll pop in one of those because I can't quite decide whether we want that as the centre or not. Might not. But might as well cut it all at the same time. So let's pop those through. Now, when you're cutting the glitter card, which we've got here, which is the single-sided glitter card, like that, so that you've only got white on that side, you're absolutely fine cutting it with any die cutting machine ordinarily. But if you're using the double-sided one, which is the one that you will get in the bundle, you will need to cut it out onto a piece of metal. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So you can see here I've cut out this middle bit, but if you watch, it's actually cut out that second bit there. So you've got a completely separate one as well. Okay, and then that, I'm not got a lot of waste there, have I now? Here is my background. Here is my beautiful snowflake. Just take out some of the pieces. just need to pop with this, but you can see that they come out so easily. I think we've got all of them. So that one will, I think, fit on there rather majestically onto there. I think that looks lovely. Now, whether we pop that onto there, I think that looks rather yummy as well, doesn't it? I think, now I haven't poked any of the little bits out, but you know what? I really like them in there. So I think I'm going to leave them in there. I think now I've cut that out, I think I want that to be on the glitter. So I'm going to take a bit of my scrap of glitter. I could, in fact, even use that with the other bits that some of the other bits that I've got, but I'm just going to pop that in and run that through again because I think I prefer that in that darker colour. So we're getting all the elements and we're just going to pop them all together now. So just going through my machine. And this will probably look a bit better. So you can see how well that cuts out all of the little intricacies from there. But don't forget, we did it because I only want the middle bit. So let's just push that through. Come on, little die. Out you come. Thank you. You have to speak to them sometimes, don't you? Well, I do, which is a bit sad, I know. That little one is all ready to go into the centre there. Oh, can't quite see it, can you? Okay, so all of a beautiful mismatch of this beautiful copper colour. I hope it's not showing too garish. It is really stunning. It's a lovely colour, very, very rich, but not like the gold. It's just something for a bit different for the thing. So let's put these back onto there for the moment so that we don't lose them. I'll clean all those up in a second. And let's start popping this little creation together. So I am going to be using foam. I have got some of the foam back in stock and it is on the website under the Facebook Live sections, but you'll have to have a search because I couldn't get it to come up to the front. So you'll have to have a little search for that if that is something that you require. Let us clear these little bits off. Like so, and let's put this all together. So I'll be working with this piece and I just need to remove these bits as well. Not very much and very easily just to pop out, but it is good just to make sure that they're not in there till the very last minute. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Okay. Now, that little beauty is going to go into the centre there. And obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually get glue on these little frames, but also so that the glue hasn't smeared onto my satin card, which is why I'm going to keep them in place by putting in these insets in a second. So I'm going to put this one down first, and all I'm going to do is put glue onto my flowers that are on the corners there, because I find that there's enough space there, and I can pop a little bit on the holly leaves just to, oh, I could if my glue wants to come out anyway. That's better, into the holly leaves there. So just a little bit, just to be able to get it to stay stuck. Okay. Just a little bit there. So I'm going to try and put it down without moving it too much if I can. Oops. So I'm going to pop that more or less in the centre and then just drop it into place and just hold those corners down. Okay. Like that. Now then, now I'm going to take my pieces here. So I'm going to take out this one. And that will fit like a jigsaw puzzle into my piece there. Okay, like that. So it's going to give that support to this little frame, but it's also going to tie in with all the colours that we're using as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the glue there and it gives that beautiful little frame as we go round. I'm going to do the same here, popping a little bit of glue into there to make life a bit easier. And then adding this. They are all symmetrical, so there's no right or wrong way. They do fit in whichever one you're going to pick up. Okay, turning it around, glue into the center there. And of course, in a minute you'll see that we've also got another a copper-based one that we've cut out from here. So you've got a spare one for your next card already. We like that, don't we? 2 cards for the effort of one. Very nearly, anyway. Finally, that little one there. Oh, a bit too much glue, really. Take out that corner and pop that into there. So it's filled out and gives a really pretty little sort of glittery colour that we are coordinating with all of our other colours, which is nice. And as we said, if you then take off this, whoops, you have now got another beautiful frame all ready to go for another card. Okay, so glitter card obviously a little bit more expensive, but you don't want to waste it, so it's ideal for something like that. Now let's assemble our snowflake. So I'm going to put some foam on for this, and I'm going to use 2 mil, I think, or 3 mil. 2 mil for this one and 3 mil for the outside. So 2 mil in depth. I'm just going to break a bit off and pop that on the back, but I will have to put glue on it as well because I'm sticking it to the glitter card. And although this glitter card is completely smooth and, as I said, non-shed, it doesn't matter too much, but it's always handy to have an extra bit. No particular right way than the other, but just pop that in the centre. Now, with this one, I do still want to keep all those pieces, so I'm going to be fussy. I'm not usually this fussy. I'm going to cut foam for each of the corners, each of the pieces. So I'm just going to be carefully. So I'm still using my strips, but I'm going to cut them in half and then just pop them like that. I think I'm going to have to trim that off a bit more because I don't want it to show. But it would also help to keep those bits which should really have been poked out. It'll keep them in place by putting the foam on the back. Give that bit of a haircut. I don't want that to be showing from to the side. So remove the back ends. And pop some glue onto there just to give it an extra chance of staying stuck. You can share. And then that goes onto my base here. And then my lovely little glitter centre, I'm going to drop that down into the hole. Should be fun, but that's what the plan is, all right? Let's hope that it works. Anyone would have thought I've done it before, wouldn't they, eh? So I just love that snowflake. It can look so different too. And snowflakes do. Isn't there something about the snowflake that's the same? By not pushing out the waste, that gives it a completely different look. And I think in those colourways, it looks really pretty as well. So bringing back in my card front, that little beauty is now going to go into the centre. And because I've got a lot of foam going on, I'm actually going to stick it straight down because I've got the depth and dimension of it on the actual snowflake. So I don't want to overkill. I'm going to pop that as much as I can into the centre, but I am going to go overkill on my card base. So just pop that to one side so that dries a bit. So I'm going to stick my vintage copper straight down onto my champagne base. So that piece is going straight onto there. But I'm going to put some foam onto the back of this piece, and I'm going to use the slightly deeper, the 3mm, which I like to do when I'm doing frames. I'm going to use the slightly deeper 3mm tape for that. And I always find that I can't break that one so easily because it's that much thicker. I'm just popping that on the edges. You don't have to do this, obviously. And I thought it'd be nice to do matte and layers rather than a frame, because not everybody is comfortable doing a frame, but I think that it would look nice. That's really shining, isn't it? Can you see my copper there? Really shining. So let's just put a couple of bits to hold the stability in the centre, like that. Peel off the backs. And I'm thinking of sentiments. Now, the Christmas sentiments, the stencil sentiments, they were out last year, and there was a few on the show on Friday, and I have managed to get a few of those coming in again as well. So if you did miss out, you might be able to grab some of them too. I'm going to hover that above so that I've got that border like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put foam on the back of this one as well, I think. Or am I not? No, I'm not. I'm going to be a devil. I'm not going to put foam on the back of that one. I'm going to put that one straight down. So straight down there. And then my corners are the last thing to go on. I'm going to pop them there. Give in a little border all the way round. And then my little corners are going to go like that. Okay. Now, it is another one, I have to say, of... I don't add a sentiment there just now. Is it gone? Who's pinched it? Was it one of you lovely ladies and folks? Probably not. It'll have to be another one that's just without a sentiment, I think. Because again, the sentiment that I was going to put on was this Sending Love at Christmas. Just a tad too much there, isn't it? No. Going to have to get my sentiments sorted out. Should have gone for the stencil sentiments because they would look just right on here. So I'm just going to pop these corners on. So I've just put a little dab of glue onto my mat here, and because it is a silicone mat, when it dries it just peels off. But just, oh, got a bubble. Just so that fits in there nicely. You could do it any of the colours. Oh, I lost them and I forgot them. I put into place. Blimey. There's not a lot of hope. Since I've had a birthday, there is not much hope left now. It's downhill, I fear. There wasn't a lot of hope before, but now there's even less, isn't there, eh? And then finally this little one. So this would look so different in any different colour forms that you have. And when you do get your set, because as I say, I know a lot of people have already got it. When you do get your set, pop through your letterbox. Have a go, maybe with something like this, or the video that you will be sent if you've bought from me, and try some different colour combinations and go for something that you might think that you wouldn't have used before, but that may well just work for you. So just reiterate what we've used. We have used, shining in that, we have used the champagne card base. The first layer I've got is the antique copper, pearlized antique copper. Then I've chosen the copper from the glitter card selection, which is called Warm Tones. Then I've used the vintage copper satin card, which is this one, and that's from the craft artist. Both of those, the glitter card and the satin card, are from the craft artist. And the die sets that I've used are from the Majestic limited edition collection from John Next Door, with the holly corners, the Majestic Frame and the Majestic Snowflake. So there we go. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you did it like the card that I've done. We had an amazing workshop yesterday, and I would just like to thank every single one of those that joined me yesterday. And I'm sure if you pop over to the Facebook section, you'll see some of the beautiful work that people have done. It's absolutely lovely. We had a great afternoon. So thank you for all of those people that came. So that was great. I'll be back on Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock on YouTube Live, so I hope you can join me. But if not, don't forget, you've always got the chance to catch up because the YouTube videos are there all the time for you on the Maximum Craft YouTube channel. And I keep on forgetting to say, please, if you could, when the video is finished and it's published to YouTube officially, would you still possibly pop a little comment at the bottom of it and just say nice things. Don't say nasty things. No, say what you like, but hopefully nice things, because that all helps me as well. Okay, so if there's anything that you saw that you'd like, that you need to have in your life and cannot live without, plus other things, they're all over on the Maximum Crafts website, maximumcrafts.com. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Keep safe, and I'll see you hopefully next Wednesday. Take care then. Bye-bye.